Morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Congratulations, Lumia Stream, for being selected in this raffle.
All right, I gotta do my dailies. This will be a quick day. Dragoon, what's up? Where am I? Trust here. In Canada, nothing to do with the evil ice empire. It's a result of Democrats cooking a young brain with propaganda. We don't have Democrats here, dude. We don't have Democrats here. That's why our nation is so amazing. We don't have Republicans either. What do I need? I need and scans 5 signatures. Try and get through these dailies. Well, I only got one there. Oh, right, turn the video off and. Not stop songs in there we go. I think that's better. All right. We only got 2 done now. Oh, look at this one. Why did I not see this one?
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Hey, Banshee Brew, what's up, dude? I got a little bit of a late start tonight. I was getting tired, and I'm like, man, do I just go to bed? And then I had like second wind, and I'm like, okay, never mind. So here we are. How you doing?
Write your own legend amongst the stars. Join the liberation.
I'm gonna completely screw up my sleep schedule tonight, though. I'm wide awake. It's 1 o'clock, just after 1 o'clock in the morning. But it's not like I have to get up for work tomorrow. I do have to get up for the hockey game, though. But other than that, Other than that, we're good. Technically, another alt today was doing some PI setup. I've got oh, that's what I meant to do. I've got to reset my PI tonight too. My alarm went off to reset it. I was like, oh. I logged in to actually do that because I wanted to do it before I started streaming, and then I got into like updating all my market stuff. And then I forgot about it, of course. How many planets or how many characters do you have doing it? Hey, Bits, what's up, dude? I've been doing all right. A little bit busy, sort of. You know what? I'm gonna do them all at one time. So,
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
hey, Kempfin. Hey, Bits, are you free for the next little bit? I just got on, so. And Freya's here too. How are you doing?
Write your own legend amongst the stars.
So what I'm doing is, I wanted to take my scout. Hold on. I'm one of those people that I can't have music blasting in my ear while I'm talking to people. Anyways, I told you guys last stream that I wanted to bring out a scout character to Goon Swarm space, and basically have it, well, use it as my scout. But then I realized that my I wanted to wait until I got my dailies done to get my bonus, and then I'll bring it out. So what do I have left? I've got like, I don't know how many days is it between each year. Whatever that is, when I get my bonus, then I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna bring my character out, and I'll use the skill points and stuff like that to train him up, so that he can train a buzzard. That's the idea right now. Not gaming today. Okay, so no PvP. Is that what you're saying? No PvP? No PvP is what he's saying. Hear that, chat? No PvP. Basically converting to PI, so just one at the moment. I tried the pre-built setups, but I realized I was doing it wrong and deleted them and remade. Oh, you have them? You figured them out now, though, Banshee Brew, like with all the templates and stuff? It's kind of annoying the first time you do it, but once you get it. Your dentist is doing PvP. Mine called a couple days ago, too, to set up an appointment. It is what it is. Let's see here. For like 2 months, finally, just actually looked into how to set it up myself. Oh, you did it? I'm too lazy for that. I just did use the templates and away we went. I was gonna get into like all the T4 stuff, and people were like, "Don't, just trust us. Don't do that. You'll regret it." And yeah. So, anyways, I stopped myself from doing it, and I think now I'm pretty glad that I did, because I'm realizing now how much more work it would have been. So None? Oh, it's around this one. I think. Easiest, but I found out how to make it work for my indie tune. Oh, you're doing T3s. I'm just doing, what am I doing? Is it coolant or something? I got it set up and just set my alarm. I just set my alarm for 48 hours and, you know, it is pretty easy. I've got all the characters on both of my accounts, so 6 characters doing it. So yeah, anyways, that's the plan. It's this character here actually that I will be using as my scout character. So she's near Jita at the moment. But I'm going to wait until she fulfills her monthly or whatever, and then I'll bring her out. I may as well get the extra 225 million skill points first. You just shoot rocks and build stuff. One of these days, I'm gonna have to like try something more than just mining Vesper or whatever the hell it is that I mine once in a while. Is it really any different, or is it just basically a different looking rock? Have to try gas huffing as well, maybe. Oof. Oh, what? You remember when Moby and Eminem used to have a beef? So stupid. Nobody listens to techno.
Connecting.
Banshee, that's what I was just talking about. the character that I just was on, that's gonna be my scout character, but he's almost done the monthly whatever it is to get the extra skill points. So I'm gonna wait until I do that in order to just have the extra skill points, and then I'm gonna just apply them so that he can fly the right now the scout character can't even fly. I've got enough skill points to do it, but I figured I'd just leave it in the station that it's at right now because it's really easy for me to do dailies there. And I'll once I get that extra 225,000 skill points, then I'll move it out to Goon Space and apply it and buy a buzzard and stuff like that, and that can be my scout character. Hopefully by then, though, Bits has quit his job. He doesn't have an excuse not to go PvP. I think that's you know, the important thing right now, right? Yeah, so that'll be my scout character. And hopefully it goes well. Hopefully it doesn't take long to find people. I don't know how long does it take for you to find test. What are we gonna call the first people that I try and kill? Test subjects. What would they be? Let me get let's get a raffle going for you guys. You guys are here early. There you go. Exclamation join on all platforms. Oh, I did mention, what did I fix? There's some things with the stream that I fixed. I fixed some things with the bot. I did make a giveaway. Remember last stream I felt bad because people were donating bits and I was like, oh. Hey, is it Gunny? Hey, Gunny, thank you very much. I'm assuming that's, what is ZN? I was going to say New Zealand, but no, that's not right. What does ZN stand for? Zealand New? Anyways, yeah, I made a, I made it so that bits would also increase. Because it did make sense that I was allowing subs to increase the pot size, but not bits, so. South Africa, okay. One of these days I'll have to go to South Africa. I want to hike Table Mountain down there. I'd like to go on a safari too, but we don't have many lions in Canada, so I wouldn't mind seeing a lion or an elephant. Actually, I saw elephants in Thailand, but not the big, huge ones that they have in Africa. I'd like to see some of these big ones that they have in Africa. Yeah, Table Mountain I'd like to hike. An elephant. Lions, hyenas, all that sort of fun stuff. Bigger is better, so I've heard. That's what I heard before my girlfriend left me too. I have no idea what she's talking about either. He was like, sorry. I'm kidding. She never ever left me. Let's see. What are we doing here? We're making stuff. Jobs. All right. Are we? I just gotta fly this guy back, and then I think we're done. I did the. Oops. I did the PI on this guy already, right? Yeah. Okay, you gotta take this guy back to Jita. Hey, Moorhedron, how's it going? Haircut looks good, buddy. I didn't really get a haircut. I just didn't do anything with my hair. I had a shower and then I was just kind of sitting here watching some news updates. You guys probably heard the situation that happened yesterday here in my province. I was watching a bit of that and then watching a bit of the Olympics coverage. Yeah, so it was getting late and I was getting tired, so I was like, oh man, am I gonna actually stream tonight? And I didn't did my hair for you guys. I'm sorry. How you doing, Nibus? Doing all right. I'm doing good. I have a I don't know what they call it. It's like, it's not a job. It's sort of like the next step along like a progression for a job that I've applied for. I have that on Saturday. But I've mentioned before, it's only part-time to start. It's not guaranteed full-time hours. I could get full-time hours, but it's not guaranteed. You have to work there for like a year and a half before you get that. Which will just mean that I'm streaming more, so. Not actually that worried about it. Oh yeah, what else did I work? Oh, I fixed the YouTube notification for people join there. And let's see. I thought there was something else I fixed with the stream as well. I've got to fix the auto shutout as well. I got to figure that out. Tangia? Well, there's Tangia. I just don't have the dungeon thing. I think I do have Tangia, but I just don't have the dungeon. Yeah, dungeons just puts. I like having a nice, clean screen for my viewers. Come on. Log off. All right, let me just do the reset of the industries on these last characters, and then we're good to go.
Connecting.
Yeah, I don't know how long it takes to get the last, what is it, like 2 days, 4 days or something like that to finish that last little thing of dailies. But once I'm done that, then I'm going to drag that character out in order to be my scout. But yeah, I'm hoping that it doesn't take too long to find people for PvP. Like that, I am worried about that. Like, how is it gonna take me like an hour to find one person, or? Probably not, but I'll have to see how it goes.
Connecting.
Hey, these are the last 2 characters. Then we're done.
The Mutual Tribe reminds visitors the enemy is always listening. Remember, silence is free. Speech has a price.
Okay, Google, set timer for 48 hours. There we go. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Going, I did not. I to be honest, I've been a little bit, I wouldn't say busy. Just I haven't been really thinking about the game too much over the last 24 hours. So. I could just ask though. I could just ask and or I could look on the rules on the forum as well. I could quickly look it up, but I could do that as well. I was thinking about doing abyssals as well, but I'm not sure how long I'll be on until I'm like, okay, I gotta hit the sack. I think what I'm gonna do is we'll do some exploration, and then we'll probably watch the next hour in the video down the rabbit hole. So I think we're done 4 hours so far, so I've still got 2 hours left of that, so we'll watch the next hour of that. That's sort of the idea at the moment. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Or I forget. I will forget. I gotta log on to my other clone. I hate it when you forget to log into your clone that's got the augmentations on. All right. Let's see here. I need the augmentations. That's what I logged in for. Dump clones. Dump. All right, we should be good here. Let me just check that I've emptied my cargo. All right, we're good to go. For an hour and a bit, anyways. You know what? Is there a like an add-on or some sort of a tool where it'll calculate how much ISK per hour you're making doing like exploration or something? There, I know they have it in other games, and I thought I saw it in someone else's stream.
Warp drive active.
How many of
Warp
these
drive
are
active.
going to already be cherry-picked? It's that time of night where people are doing that, so... Oh, we have a, See, now this is annoying me. There is actually someone in this space. And I want to kill him. I want to kill him. And if I had my scout ship out here, maybe I could find him. I don't have combat probes. I thought don't you need combat probes in order to Eve Journal. Is that what he's using? Eve Journal. And it Eve Journal. It is fake news. Did I hear fake news? I think it's fake news. Eve Journal. I'm gonna have to look into that. I think it would just make it a little bit more interesting for people watching on stream, you know? This guy's either here cherry picking, in which case I'm gonna get shit, or he's here waiting to kill people, in which case I'm gonna get killed. Disheveled and tired? No, I'm wide awake now. It's actually a problem. It's actually a problem that I'm this wide awake at this time of night. How you doing, Joe Lost? You might be able to find them using your D-scan if you're... Trying to see if they're close, see what sites, mining anomalies. Well, there's only, there's a wormhole here. Second. I'm gonna have to learn all that D-scan. I gotta stop procrastinating about this shit and just learn it. Doing a 24-hour on the 21st. Want to join me for a while on Eve or just chatting? Yeah, I can do that. That's next Saturday, right? Yeah, I could definitely do that at some point. I don't really... You could teach me D-scan? That might be a good idea. I saw that in your YouTube clip you were learning PvP as well. So I was wanting to do that. What I'm doing right now, Joe, is not right this second, but my plan is to I've got one of my alts that's parked near Jita, and basically I just do dailies with her. But after this round of the monthly bonus, I'm going to bring it out to CTEC J, and it's basically just going to be my
Warp drive active.
going to be my scout ship, and yeah, I'm gonna just fit it with a very basic buzzard with just a scanner and really not anything else. Whatever the basics I would need for a scout ship, and then I'm gonna have my PvP ship floating around behind it. So, damn it. You think this guy's at a, let's, we set at 14 AU. It is, the range. This one here, right? 14 AU. So, okay, these are all wrecks. Where are these wrecks? Like they're all. Is that all? That's all within this bubble, right? So if I'm, where am I? I'm here now. So if I'm just moving them here, like this, is that, whoops. Fuck. That's not, I don't understand, hold on. Okay, so there's, I don't think anything popped up, but I saw something when I was here. Oh, it's not there anymore. You lost internet for a sec? I was saying that I'm going to start learning how to PvP, but I've got another character that is my scouting ship. They're going to be my scout ship on my other account. Okay. Okay, so... Hold on. Again, I concentrate better when I don't have music blasting in my ear. So when I press D-scan... When I press D-scan, it's everything in this bubble. So what was this? Like, if I felt like there was something that was there. Or is it everything... Let's see, if I move it around here... Does it change? Is the D scan just around me, or where I place my probes to scan? See, this is where I'm. I can't tell if there's anything on there. I don't know what this is beeping over here as well, like that. Okay, so is D-scan just like a radius around my ship then? It has nothing to do with my probes, is that correct? Okay, so I don't have to worry about where this is. Okay, so if I, here, we can even take the probes out. How do I tell if there's someone here? Like, there doesn't appear, hold on, this. Like, I don't see anything. There's Rex. So I feel like, well, I think these are just like NPC Rex. Like, what is this that just beeped? Go to your overview. Yeah, but I mean, does the overview, does the Rex there not tell you that there's someone here? Can I just remove NPC Rex? Because I'd like player Rex to still be there. Where am I looking for? Missing here. Did I just like go right by it? Why am I not seeing Rex? Is that right? Is that, do I just want combat or for D scanner or? Does the Vexer? Okay, so this is, he's within. So this is. Well, I don't know which guy owns this Vexer though. So drop the range down and then, oh, it automatically scans. Drop the range down again. Okay, so whoever this Vexer is. This is the gray guy then? Would it be in blue if it was one of our guys? And let's see, what does the Vexer do? Uses drones. So he's within 5 AU, so he's like what sites are within 1 and 5? I don't honestly know how big 1 and 5 is, if I'm being completely honest. Much to explain. Yeah, I probably need to watch a video, to be honest. So he's sitting here waiting. Which are the gates then? Like, I'm not sure on here how big an AU is. Oh, you know what? I wasn't even fucking stealth, guys. I wasn't even stealthed. So hold on. Let's bounce from here. Hold on, so that I can use my or cloaked, I mean. I wasn't even cloaked. Let me move away. And cloak. And we know he's somewhere around here, right? So we want to use our directional scanner there. Change the range to 1 AU. Well, he wasn't showing up then. So we knew he wasn't, where'd I go? I'm over here now. But now I use this, what do? We drop the angle or something? And then how do I move the direction? Oh, you can actually type. So 4 it doesn't. Wait. 10. He's not appearing anymore. Oh, it's because the angle. The angle is low. Hold on one sec. Let's so he's still coming up. How do I move the angle though? Like I want to scan over here. Not what I wanted. How do I actually move angle? Because I know I think he's somewhere over here, right? Point your ship. Oh, do I gotta like align to it? Like that? Seem to turn my ship in that direction. Saturday on the 21st. Okay, well, I will master D-scan. Hold V and click on... That move me? No, it's still... I held V and clicked on this here. Or does it have to be like a... Does it have to be like an actual planet or something? On... Oh, just like on here? Like this? I'm clicking V, it's not doing anything. Change the scan to 180 degrees. Like, I don't know what this flashing is here. Oh, he's not actually... Oh, he comes up when it's... What direction is it flashing? So he's got to be behind me then. He's got to be in this direction. I don't understand how to like a... Take your cursor off the map and move your view. Okay, so like oops. So if I just look left? Oh, did that actually change the way? Oh, so it's based on your actual camera, which direction it scans? Ah. Oh, now we've got two baddies. I gotta come out of cloak again and... Oh, now we got 3 of them here. Where's my actual probe? There we go. Okay, now I can see it on the map. Okay. So if I... Okay, so if I'm... So I know he's this way, right? Okay, so I know he's somewhere over here. Is that him over here that is... All right, see you later. See you later, Joe. Is that him over here that I see kind of on the edge? What is that I see? I'm here. So I know he's in this cone area, right? Okay, so I know he's somewhere in this cone area, but it's for... Did it automatically change this? Oh, I'm narrowing him down. Now, does he appear on my map or on the scan? So it looks like he's actually further than 5. I've got to find him again. Giveaway time, okay. I don't know if he moved or... Oh! You can just track an item and it'll automatically move you as well. Let's try and open this up again. I want to actually try and find, like, actually find someone. Let's do the giveaway. 1 second.
Congratulations at Finn Nick for being selected in this raffle.
Effing Nick. Effing Nick, dude, I need your in-game name. I know, not sure if it's effing Nick or if it's your Twitch handle. Which is it, dude? It's not Chemfin, right? The Chemfin? And click it on the belt. Like you mean like the asteroid belt? In game name is Joe Lost. Yeah, sure. Chemfin, are you here, dude? Is it Chemfin? Just a second. It is not Chemfin. Okay. Well, whoever this guy
Ad
is,
starting.
he's gonna
We will
get.
be back in 3 minutes.
Gonna get some ISK. Congratulations. We'll start another one up in a sec. If I don't, I turn it with this camera. I actually want to try and see if I can find this guy. Oh, up here. There. Randomly going in different directions. Oh, there. Oh, we're getting close. So I know he's... There doesn't look to be anything in that direction, though. So he's just at a safe spot then, right? So I know he's somewhere up here. In fact, I know he's somewhere here. In fact, he might be right where I'm at. No, he's not. But... yeah, I know he's like right in this area somewhere. So he's probably at a safe spot, right? Would that be safe to say he's at a safe spot? Now, how do we find him? How do we actually find him? Zoom in on the mini map. Oh, so it would be this relic site then. I feel like that's the only thing that's in that direction, right? I'm here, and it's going in this direction, so... But he's further than 5 AU away. No problem, Kempen. Is this not how far 5 AU is? Like this distance? So I know he's... Oh, he's further than 1, but within 5. Oh, wow. What the fuck? Okay, so it's showing it. Like, how do I, Oh, wait a second. He's not even in the zone anymore. He's left. He's not even on local. So this Vexor Navy issue is this Win Claris guy. I've got a new ship? What? Oh, did you send me something? What do you mean? Now click on your position. On my position? Well, he's not here anymore. He's gone. Or well, this guy's here, but he's my alliance member. So the guy I was looking for is the guy in the alliance. So I think we're although this is good. I'm here. I don't. How far is 1 AU? Like, I don't know how far I'm looking here. Like, this is this 1 AU? Is I'm assuming this is 5 AU. That's my scan. The 1 AU would be, I don't know, here, which means he's between 1 AU and 5 AU, correct? Leave Zoom. Yeah, I'm not sure what you... I leave Zoom. Like, is this leave Zoom? What did you mean? But yeah, he's over there somewhere. So how do I pinpoint him? Because that's the next step, right? I make the angle even smaller. Finding him now. Oh, now we have an actual gray in the area again. Oh, he's gone. Hop through the gate. Now I've lost him. Now I've lost him. Hold V and click on green anomaly. Okay, so what is that doing? I'm assuming you want me to click on like the relic, right? Oh, this is where you think he is. So you want me to zoom in? He's not coming up anymore. Like, I don't know if he's moved or where he's gone, but he's not coming up anymore on my scan. I think I maybe moved it in too much of a weird. Let me see if he's. Yeah, I've actually moved it too far or something. I think maybe he's moved. Hold V when you click it. Okay, I don't. Maybe I've changed my look at like. There, I've held V and clicked it, and the scan is not changing. So I'm not seeing a difference here. Holding V, clicking it, it just centers it, but my direction of the scan does not change. Not. I think what I'll do is, I mean, I've only got 45 minutes. I'm just gonna pick the
Warp drive active.
things that I have here for the next 45 minutes, because I'm change the keybind for that. Okay, so I've probably done that. I'll look that up another time then. Let's try and actually make some ISK since I'm giving some away. Yeah, I don't know, I probably changed it, not realizing what it was for. Although I don't know why I would be changing V, but I don't know what else I would use it for. All right, let's. Oh. Have another enemy in the zone, so. When we go to, just before I gotta log out for the servers, I will check to see what that keybind is now.
Zelly just subscribed on YouTube.
Hey, thanks for the follow on YouTube, dude. Or subscribe on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Fly safe. I try to, but I usually never am. We try though. Watching some other things, some Skyhook coming up. There's no one here. There we go. We can pay for, do a little bit of a giveaway with that. That's me saying shit. Forgot to turn another one on, but I wasn't making money at the time, so I was like, I gotta like be making some ISK in order to give away some ISK. I know it's not started. I wasn't making ISK at the time, so I was like, hold on, we'll get moving. There we go. As soon as I pick this last one, I'll start one. And then we'll give it away just before the servers go down.
Warp drive active.
There you go. We'll do this one just before the servers go down for you. How's that? What? Hold on. Detected. Oh, I didn't look at the cargo scan. All right, well we got a filament out of that one. Got a big old filament out of that one. Oh, this one's not worth crap either. You gotta be kidding me. I think somebody came by here and poached this or something. Oh, no, they didn't. Shit, I didn't know. Oh, hold on.
Warp drive active.
We've got, mobs here. The fuck? Were those gonna kill me, those meta drones? Well, these things might.
Warp drive active.
All right.
Warp drive active.
Ooh.
Warp drive active.
Oh. Rainbow is here. Hey, Asha, how you doing? Am I actually under politics right now? Oh my god. Oh, you're fibbing. You're fibbing. Oh, on Kick I am. Hold on. I forgot to change my thing on Kick. 1 second here. 1 second, sir. I do talk a lot of politics when I'm doing a politics stream. But right now, yes, you're right, I'm not. I'm under just chatting. There we go. Thank you for letting me know, though. I totally forgot to change that back. Do I need the directional thing up now? Probably. Although I guess I could be looking for this guy that is around, right? Oh, he's gone now. He is gone. I've got half an hour. Let's see if we can get through all this in half an hour. So this detected site was where I was, that's where I went to in the last, zone. And I had the NPCs come out. So do all the detected ones have NPCs? Or, I think the last one was the detected. There's a guildmate of mine that his name is Tricky, but he's French Canadian, so he had friends of his actually redo this song in French. It's got some different lyrics as well. But he streams, and that's his opening stream song. But it's all in French. I'm just gonna scan them all down. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Scan those down while I
Warp drive active.
I'll multitask here. Okay, which was the one that I was... Uh-oh. We got several people here now. Several people here. Let's, just came rushing in, though. Oh. One of them's already left. Oh, there's 3 here now, so maybe we'll just do this last one and you could probably come find me relatively quickly, I'm assuming. Oh, stop. They've
Drive
left.
active.
They've left. They've left. We're okay. No need to freak out. Relax. Gotta keep watch on the time here. Oh, we have another gray here. The zone. But he's left. Oh, Rainbow is back. Or warning.
Warp drive active.
Get out of this area just in case he's looking for people.
Warp drive active.
Trying to speed through these sites as fast as I can. Fast as I know how. Don't have much time left. No! Fuck. Alright, gonna do it again. Just gonna do it again! Damn it! I don't fail these very often anymore. And come on. The hell is a squeeze box, chat? What do you think a squeeze box is? They're not bad at the moment. You're up late, early, depends on how you look at it. I am up late, and unfortunately, I gotta like eventually go to bed, but I'm not really tired at the moment. I don't really want to fuck up my sleep schedule either. But here we are. Here we are. Oh man, why am I even like doing this one? $4:45. Yeah, it's what is it? 2:45 here. Reason why ships can't detect that they need to go around this thing, or is there a reason that's not a thing? I guess they want you to like manually. I didn't even have the right thing on. I think we can get one more site done here. Like one more full site, I think. Oh, I forgot to cargo scan that one. Dummy.
Warp drive active.
Dummy. I'm gonna scan this one down while I'm there, just in case this is a relic site. Maybe we're getting a relic site there. This is 0 ISK? It did. That one's garbage as well? I have a feeling that these ones are just always garbage. That one's worth 8.5 or whatever. Take this one. Ooh, I got a bunch of like, I don't know what those were, but I think this is I'm not gonna go and bother with the other ones. The server's going down in 10 minutes. I don't think anyone's gonna be pissed off if I leave those ones uncherry picked. In that case, I want to try and get one more full site down here. What is this? Is another detected one? What is with these detected ones? Okay, we're not going to that one. Oops. Whoops. I think the NPCs might come out here, right? Because the last two detected ones that I've done, they've come out, so. Do these detected only have one good can each? Starting to see a bit of a pattern here. No, this one had two. See if I can get this one scanned and out of here in time. Can we get one more?
Active.
I got about 3 minutes. Three minutes, and then I'll start heading back and we'll do the raffle. Not mean to shut my Ugh. No, this is a buzzard I'm flying around in. Next stage up. Okay, you better have something good in this one, otherwise all three of the cans sucked. All three of them sucked. Okay, back to the station. Go. All right, back to the station. All right, let's do the raffle as soon as actually I'll do it now just to make sure that good luck.
Congratulations, Razor
Nellermeyer. Oh, I didn't even finish my daily yet. Did it just in time. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Sorry, dude. Resniller, I need your in-game name, please, sir.
Warp drive active.
You here, dude? Because I gotta make sure that this is given away before the server goes down. Resniller, are you here? That's who won, right? Yeah, you just won, so you've got to be here. He just entered like 30 seconds ago. How is he dead?
Warp drive active.
Like he was the last one to enter. Yeah, wakey wakey, dude. Enters and then walks away from the computer. Yikes. Dude, where art thou?
Warp drive active.
Yeah, I'm gonna, as soon as I get back, if he's not answered by the time I get back to the station, oh, there's the station. We're gonna do another, oh, cutting it a little close there. We'll call that a little close. Let's get this given away. Congratulations, sir. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that. Let's see here. I've given away 200 million so far, I think. Is it 200? It's 200? And I've made... Look at all these blueprints I got off that one. 220,000. Is that including the price of the blueprints? No, it's not. So the blueprints are separate. I don't know how much those are worth, but... Finding... Oh, can you not sell blueprints off of, Can't sell blueprints on the marketplace? Anyways. All right, 122 million. Oh, so are these considered originals then? These things? These ones that I just got, are they originals or whatever they're called? These are copies. Oh. Somebody left copies for me. I see. Okay. So the NPCs or whoever was there at one time, whatever it was at, probably at a relic site, I guess, or maybe a data site. They had copies. That's how that works. All right. The servers are gonna go down. That they waited until I asked. I'm gonna watch the next hour of Down the Rabbit Hole. So if you guys want to stick around and watch that with me, you're more than welcome. We're on, I think, hour 4. That for the next hour. I think.
Approach should acknowledge consumerism as a powerful
Hold on.
game.
I'm not actually positive. Maybe just finish hour 3. Yeah, we may. But I wouldn't have stopped it halfway through the section.
Game design tool, amongst others, that we need to get familiar with, and that should be used carefully and with respect to
Watch it
create
for a
more
couple of minutes, see if
enjoyable
we've already seen this
experiences
stuff.
and stronger identities for our players. If successful, this will result in their increased emotional attachment to our product and services for the best.
Dust 514. I can't remember if we. Yeah, I don't think we looked at Dust 514 yet. I feel like we were in this section. So we'll start off at the beginning of the section, and we'll go until looks like the end of the Imperium, or the Imperium, I guess, not the end of the Imperium, but the I guess the game started.
Expectations were high. This was also an expansion that had drawn significant resources from other projects, as many developers had been moved from other aspects of the game and other games entirely in order to create this expansion. Blogger Wilhelm Arcturus writes in retrospect that, quote, "To get this feature, they had to not only forego working on other more core issues to the game, but pretty much had to rob the World of Darkness team of resources as well." End quote. But
Yeah,
the
we did-
immediate reception to the new
start this
additions
section,
was
so-
mixed. Many of the
We're on
features
hour
promised with Incarno
4
were
now.
missing to be added at a later date, and what was made available, while tantalizing, was paltry compared to the scope that Crowd Control Productions envisioned and had projected onto the player base. The two main features were a new, robust character customization process, which players could use to update their avatars, and the Captain's Quarters, which acted as a replacement for the efficient menus that players once had in their hangars. Instead, players were now required to ambulate their character models through a special room where finicky menus could be activated. In a game where menuing accounted for much of the experience, this significantly slowed the process. What's more, computer performance in this area was notably worse than the rest of the game, further hampering a now unfamiliar method of gameplay. The loneliness of the space was heightened by a locked door that promised to one day be opened so that players could enter the rest of the station and interact with other players outside of their ships in bars,
The door never opened,
clubs,
though, right?
and others' rooms. While not all players were fundamentally opposed to the introduction of the Captain's Quarters, its practicality was suspect, and most players opted instead for a more traditional view of their critical menus,
door is a lie.
foregoing the avatar-centric method of navigation that had been a core focus of this new development for half a decade. However, rather than being returned to the hangar view that had become a core part of EVE's aesthetic since its release, featuring the player's active ship in the center of the screen, players were instead shown a static angle of the locked station door, removing functionality from what had once been the hangar. Despite being the chief focus of development, the Captain's Quarters would not be the feature that would attract the most attention. Along with the more robust character creator, there were now cosmetic options for players to purchase using currency bought with real-world fiat money. However, the prices for some goods were viewed as egregious. Eve News 24 wrote, quote, "Head over to the EVE Online forums or other EVE-related sites, and it won't take you long to figure out how much buzz has been made over the fact that a monocle, or even a measly shirt, is worth more than a
Oh,
faction-fitted battleship,
did start
a
this
couple
part
of plexes, or even more
where
than
they
the
were
retail
just
box version of the EVE Online game. Enter
being
the
greedy with
not-so-noble
their
exchange shop, proof that once again
items.
CCP loses grasp of reality, as is shown by prices on the new Vanity Shop, with products like a whopping $60 for that now
Ad starting.
infamous monocle,
We
the
will be back in 3
$22 shirt,
minutes.
or the designer boots, all of which might be a bit too much for many reasonable players." End quote. Players began generally expressing that this would only be the beginning of aggressive monetization on the part of Crowd Control Productions. Such suspicions were seemingly confirmed that same month when an issue of the internal company magazine Fearless was leaked, titled "Greed is Good." The first page, written by the editor Perry Desai, reads in part, quote, "As a subscription-based golden goose, EVE needs to incorporate the virtual goods sales model to allow for further revenue to fund our other titles,
What year
revenue
was this
for its
in?
developer."
I'm not sure what year this was in. I'm trying to compare it to other games that were around at the time.
A particular article, written by the company's principal game designer Kjartan Emilson, discusses
This is
the
around
way
the
that
same time
player
when like
attachment to
Blizzard and
virtual
all other
goods
games
can
started doing
create
this too.
capital. Quote, "An interesting aspect of selling experience and identity is that the actual action of paying for it can strengthen their perceived value. This is in many ways because of the way we are raised as consumers. We shop, therefore we are. Fashion is a beautiful example of this. When buying nice clothes, we might feel more desirable and confident, and in this way, the act of buying can actually be a factor to make your experience more meaningful or your identity stronger, and as such, it becomes more competitive with other alternatives. The act of buying is a powerful psychological pattern, deeply rooted in all of us, whether we like it or not. The pure subscription model for games, even though quite well suited for the selling of holistic experiences, takes little advantage of this part of human nature. Many players will actually voice the opinion that adding any kind of consumerism to such a game will ruin their experience. Those same players will buy Plex without any qualms to get instant access to that ship they just need to have right now, and they might even go as far as buying a $500 leather jacket that matches the one their avatar is wearing. A balanced approach should acknowledge consumerism as a powerful game design tool,
Hey, Alizig,
amongst
how you doing?
others, that we need to get familiar with, and that should be used carefully and with respect to create more enjoyable experiences and stronger identities for our players. If successful, this will result in their increased emotional attachment to our product and services for the benefit of all. If not, we run the risk of sucking our customers dry and leaving their shriveled corpses by the side of the road to the benefit of none." End quote. The debate portion featured noticeably little debate. Both employees writing
No
for the
date
piece,
on-
who have
on
been
this
approached
at
and
all.
requested to support a given side, espouse the value of virtual cosmetic sales for real money, disagreeing only
Do you guys have a problem with like cosmetic sales? Actually, do you have a problem with like pay to win? Like, do you have a problem with like the stuff that they have in EVE Online? I know you guys are mostly probably EVE Online players. Do you guys have a problem with like people being able to buy skill injectors and all that sort of stuff? Or are you guys pretty much past that at this point? I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest. I don't know that I like being able to just buy a Titan, although anyone who just does that and has never played the game before is going to find themselves out of several $1,000s very quickly. But
on the measure of tangible in-game advantage that should be allowed for purchase. The writer for the Yes portion, a game designer named Christopher Toberg, wrote about his experience with the player base and their opinions on the matter. Quote, "I would like virtual goods sales in EVE. In fact, I'd like to sell a lot more than vanity items. Does this mean I'm an evil
Sorry, I have as alpha with Omega tier. Well, you're not. You have an alpha account that you've turned into an Omega.
Capitalist.
Like I don't mind. I don't mind being able to pay for your account. I'm talking about like pay to win things, like being able to like use your credit card to basically buy a Titan or something like that. Do you guys have a problem with that?
That, unless stopped, will cause the entire company to catch fire and be buried at sea by a secret team of Navy SEALs? Let's hope not, although that's the impression I get sometimes when interacting with our customers. There is a pretty overwhelming perception amongst EVE players that these changes are bad. I think they're brilliant, but our players don't. We're going to face an uphill struggle, and the reason many of us never talk about this publicly is that we'd be burned at the stake by the players. I don't really understand the logic behind it." End quote. A later part of the feature states that the company was suggesting selling faction standings, an important limiting aspect of the game. Speaking of Dust 514, a header reads, "Next summer, people will be flocking to play Dust 514. There will be an entrance fee, but we will make sure to also provide some proverbial free towels. We will be charging for the swimming goggles, though." Towards the end, it discusses the inevitability of charging players for in-game advantages for the upcoming World of Darkness. Quote, "Escalation of commitment is another key concept
World
for
of
the
Darkness
value
was
of
their
virtual
other
goods sales.
game,
When a
right?
person has put time,
One of
effort,
their-
or
one of their
money
failed
into something,
efforts.
she's more likely to be attached. If players can spend more money directly on our game, their enjoyment will heighten, and they'll bond more strongly with it." After discussing strategies to allow
Started
players
blocking
to
the gates
purchase
to
an
Jita.
appropriate amount of in-game power, it concludes by stating, "The question of virtual goods sales is not to do or not to do. Rather, it's how do we do this? For the yet unpublished World of Darkness, the details are foggy, but the philosophy is strong." End quote. When this company magazine was leaked to the public, gaming news outlets immediately began covering it, and the community was outraged. Players took their ships to Jita, the trade hub of
There you
all
go.
of New Eden, and began firing at a prominent invulnerable statue to show their displeasure in a visible fashion. But arguably, the more impactful action was when thousands of players canceled their monthly subscription. Some resolved that they would do so for as long as was necessary
That's always
for
the
crowd control
way to get
productions
their
to change
attention.
their minds, while others decided that, with this new direction that the company
Yeah,
was
we just
taking,
saw the eye
the
monocle.
good days of EVE Online were over, and it was time to move on to other games, or from gaming entirely.
I mean, you can even look at other games, like other games that's happened as well. Like the only reason that classic World of Warcraft came about is because how enormously successful private servers were. That's the only reason we got classic World of Warcraft again. So many of us were playing on the private servers that they were like, okay, we gotta actually do something here because these private servers have as many people playing on them as our regular servers.
An internal letter from CEO Hilmar
And look how much money they made off of it. Like,
Pedersen was leaked,
still do.
stating that this reaction was to be expected and that the players were simply resisting change. The player base was only emboldened, and the protests continued.
wait,
beginning
what?
what
Hold
would-
on. Did they blame this on players?
When an internal letter from CEO Hilmar Pedersen was
Oh my god. So they're
leaked, stating that this reaction was to be expected and that the players were simply resisting change, the player base was only emboldened, and the protests
that's a good way to piss off your players.
continued, beginning what would be known either as the Summer of Rage or the more reductive Monocle Gate, after the exorbitant price of the Monocle cosmetic item in the store. Despite the hopes and expectations of company management, the protest showed no signs of stopping 4 months later, even after a discussion with the Council of Stellar Management. In an
Wow.
effort to placate their player base, Hilmar released a long apologetic letter which opened with plaintive prose. Quote, "Dear followers of EVE Online, The past few months have been very humbling for me.
What
I've
happens if
done
you
much
get too greedy?
soul-searching,
Your
and
players
what
are gonna.
follows is my sincere
We had something similar in World of Warcraft where they came out with a new mount. This is several years ago now, where the mount was $90, and they were selling mounts already on their store, but this one was like far and above, way more expensive than any other mount. It had some special perks that came along with it, like I think it had a mobile mailbox and bank and stuff like that that you could use. And a lot of people were like, "Okay, now you're just getting effing greeting." It was the Brontosaurus mount. I can't remember if that's what it was actually called, but it was basically I think it was called the Brontosaurus. You probably Google that. But it was basically, let me just quickly Google it and see if we can find it. Yeah, here it is. Let me. This is it here. This costs $90. It was just another mount, but it was $90, and people were outraged, like just like, effing insane. Why are you charging so bloody much? Blah blah blah. You think you have that? Yeah, it lets other people ride on it. It doesn't fly or anything like that, but I think it has like a mobile mailbox or something like that and stuff like that that comes along with it as well. It's not you can just carry other people. I think there's like a repairer on it or something. Right, but it was just the fact that they were costing $90 and people were outraged. But you know what happened is people in game decided to like have a like Brontosaurus mount get together, and they'd go to the capital towns and show off the fact that they had all these mounts. So there are literally like hundreds of people marching through town single file with these stupid mounts, and people are like, they paid $90 for that effing thing. Didn't come with game time or anything like that. It was just the mount. People paid.
sincere effort to clear the air with all of you. Please bear with me as I find my way through. The estrangement from CCP that many of you have been feeling of late is my fault, and for that I am truly sorry. There are many contributing factors, but in the end, it is I who must shoulder the responsibility for much of what has happened. In short, my zeal for pushing Eve to her true potential made me lose sight of doing the simple things right. I was wrong, and I admit it." End quote. The rest of the letter consisted of points of failure perceived by the player base and copious apologies. However sincere these apologies may have been, it was not enough to entirely reverse the negative perception of the company. A press release 2 weeks later revealed that what they had once internally referred to as a golden goose had stopped being quite so lucrative, and they would be reorganizing their company significantly, including laying off
all
a
that
fifth
led
of their
to a ton of
workforce.
layoffs.
They explained that, quote, "For the immediate future, our mission is to enrich the vast EVE
Big
universe
mistake.
by strengthening the continuous development of EVE Online while preparing to bring Dust 514 to market on the PS3. We do this in order to realize our ambitious and challenging plan of joining the two in a cross-platform, truly massive online world. World of Darkness will continue development with a significantly reduced team. This team will continue to iterate and expand on the gameplay and systems they have designed. We will also redeploy creative teams in Atlanta to support the launch of Dust 514. End quote. But the
Yeah, you know what?
purported gameplay and
Helizig,
systems for
that disease, the disease that you're talking about with the pets, the Center of Disease Control actually studied the effects in World of Warcraft and how people reacted to it in the game. Isn't that crazy? That happened. How long ago did that happen? Like 2008 or something? I can't remember the year it happened in, but
World of Darkness were in a questionable state. Per the Guardian article, quote, "There seemed to be no clear vision on how the various parts would create a cohesive end product. Sources report that the game effectively reached alpha, the stage at which all the major features have been implemented, 3 times, only for each version to be scrapped." End
Oh.
quote. Despite confidently claiming that they still had more EVE subscribers than a year prior, it was now clear that the expectations of the executives at the company had been severely curtailed. Now, they would have to desperately struggle to maintain what they still had in EVE Online. While the state of the company would have a significant impact on the game as a whole, the conflicts in Nullsec
Goonswarm,
would
those evil
continue
buggers, man.
unabated. While nestling itself into its new home region of Delve, Goonswarm recognized that it would need allies in order to weather any upcoming wars,
Sandra
given their
90p
penchant
just
for
followed on
angering
Kick.
other groups of players. And so, they organized what they named the Cluster Coalition, consisting of numerous nearby corporations, often gathered together not due to affable relations with one another, but rather due to common enemies. The animosity between these groups is difficult to overstate. On the verifiable end of the spectrum, players would locate spies and, upon tracing their IP addresses, would publicly post their identifying information, including their full name and address, in order to threaten them. This became a common occurrence, for which certain leaders became known. Even more extreme allegations would arise over time, though their veracity is in question. For example, in 2009, the Mittani wrote an article for 10 Ton Hammer in which he stated, quote, "About 2 years ago, Goonswarm was aiding our allies, Red Alliance, in the invasion of the Scalding Pass region against Lotka Volterra and their coalition. Lotka Volterra had unveiled one of the first Titans against us to catastrophic consequences, and at the time these profoundly silly ships were nearly impossible to kill through legitimate in-game means. They were essentially
DDoSed
invulnerable,
the guy while he
with
was
the only
online?
Titans destroyed through catching the ship while the pilot was disconnected from the game. It
Oh
was
my
determined
God.
that the Enslaver and his Avatar-class Titan had to go. I was approached by one of the leaders of Red Alliance to help make this happen, but almost immediately we were down the rabbit hole. Much to my surprise, the Red Alliance director didn't want in-game information from me. He wanted us to use the forensic resources of our intelligence agency to track down the Enslaver's home address. At a coordinated time, armed with this information, a Russian Alliance member would apparently cut the power to the Enslaver's house in the real world, and
Wow.
in EVE, a Russian Alliance capital fleet would assault the abruptly pilotless Titan. Yikes. As one can imagine, I demurred, but the Russian Alliance director didn't want to take no for an answer, and I didn't fancy telling him that I thought he was completely insane. I said that I'd look into it, and that's when things began to get really crazy.
That's when things started to get
Kugutsumen
crazy.
got involved. Kugutsumen is a French national living in Jakarta, Indonesia, who was convicted as a teenager in the early 1990s of freaking the FBI's conference call system and running up $250,000 in international calls. He copped a ban from CCP years ago for breaking the T20 scandal after penetrating the Band of Brothers director for
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. This is many, many years ago. There was a I wonder if that's even around. Okay, I'm gonna quickly show you guys this. Do you guys remember the days when maybe they still do this, but because I don't have a phone line, so I've got a cell phone. I don't actually have a cell phone or a telephone line. But do you remember back in the day when the telephone technician would come out to your house and he'd have like a big huge phone that he would connect into your phone line to like test it and stuff like that to see if it worked? They used a system called Data Pack. And basically their system allowed you to like dial in with these phones, and they would have codes to be able to like test the lines and stuff like that. Now, you have one as well? Okay, so you might know what I'm talking about here. What you could do though back in the day, it's probably been fixed now, but back in the day you could actually dial into those phone numbers with a regular modem. That was basically what was in the phone. And you could dial into this data pack network that was hooked up, connected to as part of your phone company. It wasn't meant for you to connect in, but if you had the proper codes, you could then dial out somewhere else. So I don't know how somebody got the codes to it, but a group of us had access to this, and we would dial out. This is back like in analog days. Like this is before digital phone lines were even a thing, I believe. But we were able to like dial into these systems and then use these codes to dial elsewhere in the world, and make long distance calls for free, basically. We weren't calling people that we knew. We were calling other what were called bulletin board systems at the time, BBSs. And you were installing 20. You might know what I'm talking about then. I don't know if they had the same system there. But so we would dial into this data pack phone line and then have it connect to a phone, like a bulletin board over in Germany or wherever we were, and we download all of our pirated software from Europe that way, and then we would upload these programs, games, whatever we were using, whatever we were pirating at the time, to local bulletin boards, so that we could have. That's how we got pirated software at the time. So I would doubt that. I don't know that data pack would be around still to this day. I'd actually try and remember what the name is. But yeah, we used to do that. And one of my friends, she got busted for doing this. I think she was 60. She got busted because I remember she you ever hear about these kids that were banned from using computers for a period of time back in the day? I don't know if they probably still have that with hackers. She was banned from being able to use a computer for 2 years. She was not allowed to be around a computer. Like this was her punishment. She was 16. She got like a 2 year ban where she was not allowed around computers. She was not allowed around modems or anything like that for 2 years. And after she finished her 2 year probation or whatever it was, she of course went back in and started um, learning, the new things that you could do on computers and stuff like that. And now she works down in the U.S. and she's got a cyber security job, and she makes a ton of fucking money. Like it all worked out for her, but I mean, for 2 years, she was that kid that you heard about in like movies or through the grapevine, where she wasn't allowed to use a computer for 2 years. She actually got, of our group of friends, she actually got busted. She was doing it a lot more than we were, but dumpster diving, paying someone for the manual, the LOD, the mod champion doing that, greets the Legion of Doom and Masters of Deception. Yeah, my friend was banned for 10 years. She broke into the was that Department of Defense or something like that after breaking into their system. Her name Christine? No, it's not. Yeah, but anyway, she was from here in Vancouver, and the last time I talked to her, I mean, fuck, we were teenagers at this time, man. The last time I talked to her was probably 5 or 10 years ago or something like that. But I mean, it was just a very brief conversation on Facebook, like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And she was, well, down in the States now, married, has kids, but she's working in cybersecurity. She's one of those hackers that basically got paid by a company to, hey, you were able to hack into our company, show us how to, that's how a lot of these hackers get these really high paying jobs.
Forums, but it seems the banning
Wish I was that
completely
smart.
removed all restraint on his behavior regarding the game. He set up his own forum to cover the hidden news of EVE by publishing snippets from the forums of other alliances. Why didn't I have to deal with the Red Alliance trying to cut the power to the Enslaver's house to kill his Titan? Because Kugutsumen, out of either idle curiosity or malice aforethought, traced the Enslaver's IP addresses back to Iceland, confronted him on Lotka Volterra's TeamSpeak while under an assumed name, recorded the conversation, and then outed him as a GM and a CCP employee. End quote. but to the
So the guy that had the only Titan in the game was a GM and CCP employee?
northeast in late 2011, the Russians, having once been relatively united, had again split due to internal divisions between the leaders of major powers, often involving what was known as RMT, or real money trading, another name for the black.
Your friend was caught by the FBI in her local library? I think my friend was just caught at home. Like I don't think that she was at a library or anything like that. Like, and it wasn't just her that was doing it. Like there was a whole bunch of us that were doing it. But yeah, she got busted, like arrested, taken to court, and her punishment was that she wasn't allowed to use computers for a couple of years. The I'm just going to quickly check my Facebook. I don't believe on Facebook anymore. I haven't seen it posted in forever. Let me just check to see. I just got to do a search. Yeah, she is on Facebook, but she hasn't posted anything in years. So, oh no, she has posted stuff. Yeah, she's still living in the States. It looks like so. Interesting.
Market economy in which wealthy players would exchange their in-game ISK for real money. Accounts from different players conflict on the prolificacy of this practice, with some leaders claiming that it was a rare occurrence, while others stated
Religious
that nearly every
fundamentalism.
person with a leadership position in every major alliance participated
Wow.
in RMT to some degree. The desire to sell ISK for real-world fiat currency was heightened for those in leadership positions who had accumulated more wealth than they could feasibly spend, and there was always a temptation.
You know, I've never looked on sites. I'm kind of curious. I don't need ISK. I'm just kind of much ISK. I usually knew what it was in Warcraft, but I'm curious. Well, curious. Do people actually? I mean, I guess they do because one penny Canadian. For 10 million ISK, it's 7 cents Canadian. Like you're not gonna buy that. You're gonna buy like a billion though, right? For a billion ISK, it's $6. $6.60 Canadian. So that's like $5 American for 1 billion ISK. Huh. I mean, I guess if you really, I'm wondering what would a billion ISK be in if I just bought Plex? Like, what is the difference? How much are you actually saving by buying it illegal? I think CCP is very strict on this shit. Like, if they catch you doing it, they just ban your account, right? So 1 billion ISK. I'm just kind of curious what the math is. So 1 billion ISK, I think, is 222 plex, roughly. That's not on sale. You're looking at about $10-12. You're getting it for about half the price. And that's if you pay $12 without any sale or whatever, or you only want to buy the minimum amount. Like, why would you only buy 10? So if you bought like more Plex and bought it at a discount, like when they have their sales, I guess you might be saving a little bit, but why would you take the chance
to raid a corporation or alliance's assets and sell them. Many large alliances were making remarkable amounts of money by renting space controlled by the alliance to smaller corporations. An article for Gamer Tribute describes some of the conflicts of interest. Quote, certain players were rumored to make thousands of dollars in real life through RMT operations, which meant
thousands of dollars RMT operation. God, you would. What did I just say? It was $5 American for a billion ISK. Like, man, you'd have to have a hell of an operation in order to make thousands of dollars.
Threatening renter space put real-life income sources at risk for some players. End quote. While it's impossible to say for certain, the Russians had a reputation of partaking in RMT far more than other groups.
Had a reputation.
Which made a massive heist in July of 2011 only more bitter. A trusted and well-known leader in a Russian corporation stole nearly 1 trillion ISK worth of goods and cash, including 2,400 plex valued alone at approximately $42,000.
Oh my.
This would not stand, and the Russian federations, who had once been relatively peaceful, fractured and declared war on one another. As these wars raged, fleet commanders began to experiment with wormholes as tactical tools, especially as an escape route in case a fight was going badly.
So what, the Russian groups split up because some of them liked this scam and others didn't?
However, given the relative unfamiliarity with wormholes, nullsec corporations would sometimes make grievous errors born from ignorance of this chaotic space. For example, after losing a fight, the elite members of Pandemic Legion, closely affiliated with Mercenary Coalition, hid their heavy battle fleet in a wormhole. However, the combined mass of their ships was too great for the wormhole to remain stable, and it collapsed behind them. None of the 46 characters who made it through the wormhole was equipped with the probes necessary to navigate a way out of wormhole space. And so, with little knowledge of wormholes, they decided instead to simply destroy one another's ships and respawn back home.
Oh my
Elsewhere,
God.
The dissolving of familiar alliances meant that old enemies after the war were far more vulnerable, and wars began to break out all across nullsec, with wild border adjustments on a regular basis. Not even Goonswarm was able to hold on to its prize of Delve. As these wars became larger in scope and game-related writing began to resemble more traditional news outlets, web traffic began to funnel into more professionally produced operations, but these outlets were often controlled by groups with special interests, most obviously the Mittani, a website owned and operated by its namesake, with writers creating all kinds of media. On November 13, 2012, the blog Evaganda wrote, quote, "The Mittani has killed Eve blogging. Why read through dozens of sites when you can just visit one? You get features, news, opinion, and the unquestionable loyalty of the largest single block of players in-game, fed daily through forum support that rivals none other." I've been approached 3 times to write for the Mittani. The first was back before it launched, and the most recent was by the very same Mark Scaris that now poses the question of what to do with these blogging features. It is no mistake that other community-involved bloggers are also involved in that site. By the way, I turned all 3 of those requests down flat. Personally, I can't support the Mittani or the goons behind him. I don't link to the site here, nor will I ever do so. That is a role-playing choice primarily. but it is also because I knew full well what that things coming meant. And here we are. And it is only natural. Things change, remember? Eve is getting close to being a decade old. It is as predictable as the sun rising and setting that eventually something like that sight would appear. End quote. But while both media outlets for game news and the alliances in Nullsec were inexorably progressing toward a greater homogeneity, the players in wormhole space continued to establish themselves. Over time, they had discovered more and more about their chosen home, some facts being more esoteric than others, and this knowledge would turn this churning, chaotic hellscape into a verdant home replete with valuable minerals and friendly rivals. One of the most important habits adopted by early players was the mapping of wormhole space. Players from different corporations would be tasked with traveling through wormholes, taking note of what existed there, such as enemy bases or collectible resources, and sharing this information with the others, so that the immediate vicinity around their home system would be known, the connections spiderwebbing out, with some branches terminating back into normal K-space. Due to the transient nature of the wormholes, these maps would have to be updated constantly, and they were closely guarded so as not to be used against their makers. However, players quickly discovered methods by which they could, to some extent, control this space. By sending heavy ships back and forth through wormholes in just the right patterns, wormholes could be coaxed into collapsing prematurely while guaranteeing that no ship would be stranded on the far side, a practice known as rolling a hole. These tactics could be used both defensively and aggressively. A corporation with access to a static hole could purposefully collapse it again and again, searching for targets. A static hole that linked to other wormhole space systems could serve as a way to search for new resource nodes from which to gather, or it could be a way to search for other corporations with whom to engage in affable combat for entertainment. But those outside of wormhole space came to know them for a different practice. If a wormhole corporation gained access to a nullsec static, then they could quietly use it to search for ripe targets. Once a proper target was spotted, a small raiding fleet would burst forth from the wormhole and begin raiding the surrounding space, destroying ships and looting until a response fleet could be organized. Given the relative power of nullsec corporations and the size and mass restrictions imposed by the wormholes, it was common for such response fleets to substantially outclass the...
I think we did this just the other day, the very first fleet I went on. We went up to a wormhole, warped to somebody that was at another exit, and then went through and killed a bunch of people. I didn't know what was going on. But now I'm beginning to understand.
Raiding bans from the wormhole corporations, and so, upon sighting them, the raiders would retreat back through their wormhole, disappearing into the labyrinth. The relative secrecy and aggressive demeanor of the average wormholer placed them at odds with the nullsec empires, and over time, the two came to regard one another as bitter enemies, the nullsec alliances relying on stability and strength, and the wormholers embracing disorder and agility. Despite the equalizing forces of wormhole space, it still harbored its own elite, and they tended to occupy the C6 wormhole systems, the most dangerous and also the most valuable. The higher class systems tended to have unique stellar bodies, such as black holes and pulsars, which could dramatically alter certain statistics about ships, making them even more
I don't know if I've ever seen a black hole or a pulsar.
As their denizens would specialize their ships to utilize these peculiar features fully for defensive purposes, their ships funded by the valuable resources there and in the wormhole systems that tended to link to them. These larger corporations naturally became targets for others looking for a good fight. The most well-known example was the corporation Rooks and Kings, who delighted in discovering ways to push the game to its limits, and their French corporation, Guillotine Therapy, who primarily lived in wormhole space. Their YouTube series, named Clarion Call, attracted the attention even of those outside of the game, as their stories of frustrating the efforts of much larger corporations became legendary. In particular, they became known for a unique tactic: pipe bombing. By outfitting a small fleet of battleships with smart bombs and equipping defensive modules.
I'd have to look. I did get emails. I don't know the names of the people that sent me the emails though. And there was 2 ships. One I could fly. I don't remember the name of the ship though.
That allowed them to resist the particular kind of damage that the smart bombs produced. They could effectively destroy any intercepted enemy fleet while remaining mostly intact. This was made possible in part due to the rigid habits of fleet commanders in nullsec corporations, who were predictable enough for these strategies to continue to work for months. But even as great powers were establishing themselves, there was a new, unorthodox section of EVE Online growing faster than any other: the casinos. By sending ISK to trusted banker characters, players could exchange their in-game money for tokens to be used on gambling websites, much like chips at a real-life casino, and soon, players with vast stores of liquid assets and nothing else on which to spend them would gamble large amounts for entertainment. The money being funneled through these websites was massive and only growing day by day. But all of this
Wait, were they winning real money or were they winning like ISK and stuff like that? Like, what is this? Like, you're gambling ISK and getting ISK in return, right?
contingent upon Crowd Control Productions managing their game while simultaneously launching further games, something that would prove to be a titanic struggle.
These sites still exist?
On May 22nd, 2013, Crowd Control Productions finally released their first-person shooter game, Dust 514. The game had been given limited beta releases throughout the previous year, but it was difficult to gauge what the final game would feel like after it was integrated into its parent game of EVE Online. But the nature of its existence made it difficult to penetrate. For casual players, the links between Dust and EVE weren't immediately apparent, and while the connection appeared to have worked well, the people who were downloading and playing Dust...
Wait, years ago to buy, is this like RMT buying ISK, or is this like legit buying ISK? Hell is it?
often did so not knowing that there was much, if any, connection to EVE.
Yeah, a lot of people said they really enjoyed Dust.
The game's distribution
I never
method.
played it though.
As the game was made free to play by download on the PlayStation 3, many first-person shooter enthusiasts downloaded it to test, with little further understanding or research, expecting familiar fare. But the game that greeted them was significantly less accessible than a typical game in the genre. Chris Carter, writing for online gaming magazine Destructoid, described his initial experience. Quote, "For everyone else who is not already an EVE fan, you're going to see it as another first-person shooter, and it will most likely not blow you away. In fact, as soon as I actually booted up my first skirmish, I was immediately underwhelmed. The environments, the guns, the visuals, everything but the stylized character models was extremely basic.
I'm gonna be honest, I've watched people play Vanguard, and I'm like,
generation title. I experienced major frame rate issues, so much so that
feel like it needs
affected
work.
my ability to see vehicles in the distance. At times, the game seemed to run well below 30 frames per second. I also experienced a decent amount of lag during my time with Dust, which is obviously a problem with an FPS, especially if you're fond of long-range combat." End quote. IGN's Vince Ingenito was similarly unimpressed. Quote, "The actual shooting isn't up to snuff. Similar games like Battlefield 3 succeeded by making it fun to fight both on foot and in vehicles, but Dust struggles to even make firing a gun feel right, much less vehicle combat. Now,
could you not just trade at like a or is that how CCP was catching people if they're trading in stations?
Now, I don't claim to be an expert marksman, but I had more trouble keeping my sights on target in Dust than in any FPS in recent memory. Part of this is due to the mushy aiming controls, which are too sluggish for quick turns, yet too jumpy to track moving targets reliably. Sloppy, protracted firefights result, leaving my enemies and I to dance endlessly around each other, emptying our clips without scoring a kill. After playing with controls
so
as
people
tightly
left the station
refined as
then.
those in Call of Duty, Battlefield, and countless other shooters, Dusts feel terribly antiquated. In fact, very little works or feels like it should in Dust 514. The maps are laid out well enough for combat.
So I've heard a lot of people say that they really like Dust 514, but it looks like the general FPS community was not a big fan of it.
Some great verticality at times, but the limited detail and variety of the environments keep it from ever feeling like you're planet hopping for glory and profit. End quote. Even Ian Hertzberg from 10 Ton Hammer, who reviewed the game positively, said that, quote, "So far I've felt like I was mostly making contact with Dust 514 players and found very little influence from EVE Online spilling over into the game. Which is a shame because the idea of the two games interacting seems cool in theory.
It
but
is
in
cool.
practice, Dust 514 feels more like a standalone game." End quote. These limited connections between the games hadn't been solved half a year later when GameSpot's Nick Capozzoli wrote in December of that year that, quote, "Dust's link to EVE was supposed to provide the context for these endless war games, but the bond between the two games remains ill-defined. Corporations, the lifeblood of EVE, barely receive an introduction in Dust."
I can totally
quote.
see how if you weren't a player of EVE Online though, that you might not get what Dust was really all about though. You know what I mean? Like it almost feels like you have to also play EVE Online to really understand the purpose of Dust.
The tepid reception of Dust 514 likely had a severe effect on the morale of employees at the company, who had watched 20% of their coworkers be laid off only a few years prior. Significant resources had been redirected from the highly anticipated World of Darkness MMO in order to complete this game, and with the severe impact that the Summer of Rage had inflicted upon the revenue of Crowd Control Productions, those who had been assigned to the project were nervous. This also boded poorly for other projects that the company had announced. In August of 2013, CCP had announced the development of a new space dogfighting
Hey, it's Star
game
Citizen.
for VR, which they named EVE Valkyrie. Again, hoping to act as an innovator in the gaming space, as the founding team had with Vermal and EVE Online, the project was originally a demo developed by employees, and now they had been flown to Britain in order to work on expanding it into a full game. But Valkyrie was slated for a 2014 release, only a year later. In comparison, the tenuous fate of World of Darkness threatened nearly a decade of work. These fears would prove founded in April of 2014, when World of Darkness was officially cancelled. According to The Guardian, this was unsurprising for members of the team who had been anticipating this decision.
Why
since
do
the
so many of their
layoffs
games
after the
fail?
Summer of Rage in 2011.
Like I'm gonna be honest. The idea of EVE Frontier sounds amazing. I feel like nobody's playing it. Like I feel like I've looked at their Discord. I've looked, I feel like very few people are actually playing it or even really seem to care.
Allegedly, the World of Darkness
Maybe I'm wrong,
team
but
had
it
been
seems
the
like a
most
really cool
thoroughly
idea, but-
impacted. An anonymous source stated that, quote, "The 2011 layoffs incited a lot of anger. A lot. I heard it was worse in the ATL office, and most of the folks I know down there have never forgiven CCP's management." End quote. 2013 saw 15 more layoffs, leaving 56 team members going into the following year, a paltry number for the production of a new MMO. Those 56 remaining in April were either moved to other projects or laid off as well. Many had come from the original White Wolf team when the company was bought. Not all of the work from the game had been entirely lost. For example, much of the character creator had been adjusted and ported to EVE Online for players to update their avatars, a system that proved remarkably robust, but was only a fragment of the work that had been made for World of Darkness. With the middling release of Dust 514 and the complete collapse of World of Darkness, Crowd Control Productions was now reliant upon maintaining EVE Online, which they were struggling to manage after the release of Incarna. But those on the outside would see little of this struggle. Instead, they would bear witness to the largest conflict that any virtual world had ever seen. By 2013, the pattern of warfare in Nullsec had been established as a constant state of conflict punctuated by larger-scale wars between alliances and power blocks, and in October of that year, a new war roiled to life once again as Goonswarm's Cluster Coalition, or CFC as it was known, was expanding. Andrew Groen writes, quote, "The Cluster Empire now mirrored eerily the dominion of the former Band of Brothers at its peak, save for the fact it was a bit larger and more stable. For only the third time in New Eden's history, half of the Nullsec territories were controlled by a single organization of players united under a single ruler. As October 2013 came to a close, it was already becoming clear that a new block-level war would soon begin. By now, few were even surprised, as it was clear that in some respects, EVE was in the midst of a forever war. The individuals that made up these alliances could not be destroyed, and neither could their very real animosity for one another, which was compounding through the years." End quote. This animosity exploded in 2013 into what came to be known as the Halloween War. As the Russian coalition attempted to capture space in a border conflict, their allies in the CFC sent minor support, which quickly expanded into their entire supercapital fleet. Uniting to fight them, a massive group of Nullsec players gathered under the name N3PL and prepared for war. For 3 months, the war raged until January 27th, 2014, when an opportunity arose for the CFC. Due to a bug in the game's user interface, a bug in the servers,
Okay, guys, I'm going to call it here. I'm getting tired, which is good because I don't want to screw up my sleep schedule. So it's already 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to call it here. We're 3.5 hours into this, so we'll pick it up here the next stream. Sorry, it's a little bit of a short stream. I actually only decided like very last minute to actually start streaming. So let us give a raid to someone. We will raid. We'll raid Mr. Booga. So yeah, I'll be back hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big Olympic hockey game for Canada, so I'm gonna watch that. But that's tomorrow morning. So that's one of the reasons why I got to go to bed now, because I got to wake up in like 6 hours for it. So have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll try and make it another longer stream next time. Yeah, take care, guys. Good night.